ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर है वो पास नहीं होती है। कहाँ से पास नहीं होती है? तो वो ये जो स्टेट्स दे रखी है ना, राजस्थान, उड़ीसा, छत्तीसगढ़, त्रिपुरा, इनमें से उड़ीसा से पास नहीं होती है। बाकी वो राजस्थान से भी, छत्तीसगढ़ से भी, त्रिपुरा से भी, हर जगह से जो है टॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर पास होती है। उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है वो ये है कि ईस्टर्न मोस्ट लॉन्गिट्यूड ऑफ इंडिया इज़, तो वो हो जाएगा 97 डिग्री 25 मिनट ईस्ट। ईस्टर्न मोस्ट लॉन्गिट्यूड ऑफ इंडिया इज 97 डिग्री 25 मिनट ईस्ट। उत्तराखंड, उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल एंड सिक्किम हैव कॉमन फ्रंटियर्स विद, तो वो किसके साथ है कॉमन फ्रंटियर्स? नेपाल के साथ। उत्तर प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल एंड सिक्किम हैव कॉमन फ्रंटियर्स विद द नेपाल। इफ़ यू इंटेंड टू विजिट कावरती ड्यूरिंग योर समर वेकेशंस, विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऑफ इंडिया यू विल बी गोइंग टू, तो वो हो जाएगा लक्षद्वीप इनमें से। Kavarti is the capital of Lakshadweep Islands. So if we go to Kavarti in the summer vacations, we will be going to Lakshadweep Island situated in the Arabian Sea. कहाँ पे है ये? Arabian Sea में। My friend hails from a country which does not share land boundaries with the India. Identify the country. तो वो यहाँ पे भूटान, ताजिकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश और नेपाल, इनमें से कौन सी कंट्री है जिसकी लैंड बाउंड्री जो है इंडिया के साथ नहीं टच करती है? तो वो है तजाकिस्तान। तजाकिस्तान डज नॉट शेयर लैंड बाउंड्रीज विद द इंडिया, सो माई फ्रेंड इज हेलिंग फ्रॉम द तजाकिस्तान। उसके बाद आगे क्वेश्चन है, नेम द ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड्स लाइंग इन द अरेबियन सी। आपको जो है ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड्स बताना है जो कि अरेबियन सी में लाई करते हैं, तो वो है लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड। कौन सा आइलैंड है? लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड। नेम द कंट्रीज़ विच आर लार्जर देन द इंडिया, तो कौन सी कंट्रीज़ हैं जो कि इंडिया से लार्जर हैं? तो वो है रशिया, कनाडा, यूएसए, चाइना, ब्राज़ील एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया। विच आइलैंड ग्रुप ऑफ इंडिया लाइज टू इट्स साउथ ईस्ट, तो वो है अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड लाइज टू द साउथ ईस्ट ऑफ इंडिया। विच आइलैंड कंट्रीज आर आवर सदर्न नेबर्स? श्रीलंका एंड मालदीव्स आर द टू आइलैंड कंट्रीज दैट आर सदर्न नेबर्स ऑफ इंडिया। The sun rises 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh as compared to Gujarat in the west, but the watches show the same time. How does this happen? The longitude gap between Arunachal Pradesh and Gujarat is about 30 degree, and due to this, there is time lag about 2 hours between these states. Since Arunachal Pradesh is in the east, hence the sun rises earlier here compared to in the Gujarat, and the Indian Standard Time is taken from the time of standard meridian of India, and hence the watches show the same time in both the states. The central location of India at the head of Indian Ocean is considered of great significance. Why? It provides India without abundant extended sea routes to apply her trade and commerce devices strategies with developed countries, Western European at her left hand and developing countries at the right. It helps India in flowing her stream of wisdom in physical, mental, emotional and psychological field everywhere in Africa, Asia and Europe contingent. It includes spiritual, technical, psychological and anatomical and material knowledge also. India holds title authority on Indian Ocean. In fact, India only has the longest coastline in Indian Ocean in the world. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट है, आइडेंटिफाई द फॉलोइंग विद द हेल्प ऑफ द मैप रीडिंग। तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं विच आर बिलोंगिंग टू द मैप ओनली। सो द आइलैंड ग्रुप्स ऑफ इंडिया लाइंग इन द अरेबियन सी एंड बे ऑफ बंगाल, तो लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड एंड अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड्स। उसके बाद द कंट्रीज कंस्टिट्यूटेड इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, चाइना, तिब्बत, नेपाल, भूटान, म्यांमार एंड बांग्लादेश। द स्टेट थ्रू विच द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर पासेज, गुजरात, राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, झारखंड, वेस्ट बंगाल, त्रिपुरा एंड मिजोरम। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट है द नॉर्थर्न मोस्ट लैटिट्यूड इन डिग्रीज, तो वो हो जाएगा 37 डिग्री 6 मिनट ईस्ट। फिर है द सदर्न मोस्ट लैटिट्यूड ऑफ द इंडियन मेन लैंड इन डिग्रीज, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? 8 डिग्री 4 मिनट ईस्ट। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है द ईस्टर्न एंड द वेस्टर्न मोस्ट लॉन्गिट्यूड इन द डिग्रीज, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? 68 डिग्री 7 मिनट ईस्ट एंड 97 डिग्री 25 मिनट ईस्ट। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट है द प्लेस सिचुएटेड ऑन द 3 सीज, तो वो कौन सा है? 3 सीज वाला जो प्लेस है तो वो है कन्याकुमारी। क्या है वो? कन्याकुमारी है। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट है द स्ट्रेट सेपरेटिंग श्रीलंका फ्रॉम द इंडिया इज, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? पार्क स्ट्रेट। कौन सा स्ट्रेट है? पार्क स्ट्रेट है। द यूनियन टेरिटरीज ऑफ इंडिया, अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड, चंडीगढ़, दादरा एंड नगर हवेली, दमन एंड दीव, Lakshadweep, Puducherry and Delhi. A landmass bounded by sea on 3 sides is referred to as peninsula. A peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by water on the majority of its border, that is 3 sides, while being connected to a mainland from which it extends. Mountain ranges in the eastern part of India forming its boundaries with the Myanmar are collectively called, तो हम इसको बोलेंगे पूर्वांचल. क्या बोलेंगे इसको? पूर्वांचल बोलेंगे. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge and the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India, and they are known as the Purvanchal or the eastern hills and mountains, and these hills run through the northeastern state, and Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, Manipur Hills and the Mizo Hills. The western coastal strip south of Goa is referred to as Kannad. The western coast, sandwiched between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea, is a narrow plain. It consists of three sections. The northern part of the coast is called the Konkan, Mumbai, Goa, and the central stretch is called the Kannad Plain, while the southern stretch is referred to as the Malabar coast. The highest peak in the Eastern Ghat is, तो वो हो जाएगा महेंद्रगिरी. क्या हो जाएगा? महेंद्रगिरी हो जाएगा. Mahendragiri have the height of 1501 meters, thereby making it as the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. What is Bhabar? The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposits pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 km in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks, known as Bhabar. Name the three major divisions of the Himalayas from the north to south. The three major divisions of the Himalayas from north to south are the Greater or Inner Himalayas और हिमाद्री. इसका नाम है हिमाचल और लेसर हिमालय, सेम चीज़ है. एंड द शिवालिक और आउटर हिमालयस, सेम चीज़ है. Which plateau lies between the Aravalli and the Vindhyan ranges? तो वो है मालवा प्लेटू. कौन सा प्लेटू लाई करता है अरावली एंड विंध्यान रेंजेस के बीच में? तो वो है मालवा प्लेटू. नेम द आइलैंड ग्रुप ऑफ इंडिया हैविंग कोरल ओरिजिन. तो वो है लक्षद्वीप. भांगर और खादर में क्या डिफरेंस होता है? तो भांगर, दीज आर द ओल्डर एलुवियम और ओल्ड सॉइल एंड फॉर्म द लार्जेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द नॉर्दर्न प्लेन्स. खादर द न्यूअर एंड यंगर डिपॉजिट्स ऑफ द फ्लड प्लेन्स एंड गेट्स रिन्यूड एवरी ईयर. भांगर इज नॉट सुटेबल फॉर द कल्टिवेशन एंड खादर इज इंटेंसिव एग्रीकल्चर practiced here. Bhangar, it presents a terrace-like feature and coarser in the texture. Khadar, it contains calcareous deposits locally known as kankar and finer in the texture. Bhangar, it is less fertile. Khadar, it is more fertile. उसके बाद difference between the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So Western Ghats mark the western edge of the Deccan Plateau. Eastern Ghats mark the eastern edge of the Deccan Plateau. Western Ghats continuous can be crossed through the passes only. Eastern Ghats discontinuous होते हैं, irregular होते हैं and dissected by the rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. Western Ghats higher होते हैं, average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters. Eastern Ghats lower होते हैं, average elevation is 600 meters. Western Ghats, this range is source of many large rivers. Eastern Ghats, no big river originates from this range. Western Ghats में it experiences orographic rain mostly in the summer due to the summer monsoons, and the climate is hot and moist. Eastern Ghats, it receives rain both in the summer and winter, especially in the winter through the winter monsoons. However, here the rain is lesser than the western strip. Western Ghats की बात करें तो soil is highly fertile. Rice, spices, rubber and fruits like coconuts, cashew nuts, etc. are grown. Eastern Ghats में soil is not as fertile as Western Ghats. Rice, groundnuts, cotton, tobacco, coconuts, etc. are grown. Which are the major physiographic divisions of India? Contrast the relief of the Himalayan region with that of the peninsular plateau. The major physiographic divisions of India are the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian deserts, the coastal plains, the island. उसके बाद contrast between the relief of the Himalayan region with that of the peninsular plateau. The Himalayan region and peninsular plateau, इन दोनों के बीच में क्या difference है? So Himalayan region, young fold mountains made from the uplift of this strata formed by the sedimentary rocks, consists of the loftiest mountains and deep valleys. The ranges have I-shaped and U-shaped valleys. It is the origin of perennial rivers, and from the point of view of geology, this region forms an unstable zone, and the peninsular plateau created from the igneous and metamorphic rocks after the splitting of the Gondwana land consists of broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. It has horsts, rift valleys and troughs. It has rain seasonal rivers, and this region forms a stable zone. Now next is give an account of the northern plains of India. The Himalayan uplift out of the Tethys Sea and subsidence of the northern flank of the peninsular plateau resulted in the formation of the large basin. In the course of time, this depression gradually got filled with the deposition of sediments from river flowing from the mountains in the north and led to the formation of the fertile northern plains. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square square kilometer, and the plain is about 2400 kilometer long and 240 to 320 kilometer broad. It is densely populated and intensively cultivated area. Its adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a very productive part of India. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plain, and the Ganga plain extends between Ghaggar and Tista rivers. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partly Jharkhand, and West Bengal to its east. Particularly in the Assam lies the Brahmaputra plain. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium, and they lie above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. And this part is known as Bhangar. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits, locally known as Kankar. The newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called as khadar. Write a short note on the Indian desert. The Indian desert lies towards the western margin of the Aravalli Hills. It is covered with the sand dunes and sandy plains. It is considered the hottest region in the country. It has a high range of temperature as days are hot and nights are cold. While the temperature may reach up to 50 degrees Celsius during the summers, the temperature may drop down 0 degrees Celsius during the winters. The region receives scanty rainfall, which is usually less than 250 mm, and it has dry climate having low vegetation cover. Streams appear during rainy season. After some time, these streams disappear into the sand as they do not have enough water to reach the sea. Luni is the single large river in this region. Barchan's crescent shaped dunes cover larger areas, but along the Indo-Pakistan border, longitudinal dunes are becoming more prominent. Example हो जाएगा इसका group of Barchans can be seen in the Jaisalmer. Write short note on the Central Highlands. The Peninsular Plateau consists of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The part of Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major areas of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. They stretch from the northwest with the Aravallis, further merging with the sandy and rocky deserts of Rajasthan. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and the Ken, is from southwest to northeast. They are wider in the west but narrower in the east, and the eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Baghelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. Write short note on the island group of India. The island group of India consists of the Lakshadweep group and the Andaman and Nicobar group. The Lakshadweep island, this group lies close to the Malabar coast of Kerala, composed of small coral islands. The island covers a small area of 32 square kilometer. Earlier, they were known as the Lakadiv, Minicoy and Amindiv. In 1973, these were renamed as the Lakshadweep, covered the islands in the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep. This island group has a great diversity of flora and fauna. Pitti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. Andaman and Nicobar Island, the elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal extending from north to south, are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories, the Andaman in the north and Nicobar in the south. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of the submarine mountains. They have a great diversity of flora and fauna. These islands lie closer to the equator, experience the equatorial climate, and have thick forest cover. On an outline map of India, show the following mountains and hill ranges, जो कि है काराकोरम, जस्कर, पटकाई बम, the Jaintia and the Vindhyan ranges, the Aravalli and the Cardamom hills. उसके बाद पीक्स में बताना है केटू और कंचनजंगा, नंगा पर्वत एंड द अनाई मुडी, प्लेटोज में छोटा नागपुर एंड मालवा, एंड द इंडियन डेजर्ट, वेस्टर्न घाट्स, लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड्स. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो है इसमें फिल की गई हैं. तो एक बार देख लेते हैं. यहाँ पे जो है काराकोरम रेंज है, ये जो है जिसका रेंज है, ये नंगा पर्वत है, ये इंडियन डेजर्ट है, ये अरावली रेंज है, ये मालवा प्लेटू है, ये विंध्यान रेंजेस है, ये छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू है, एंड ये जैंतिया हिल्स है, ये कंचनजंगा है, और ये जो है पटकाई बम है. और इधर जो है क्या है, इधर जो है वो है लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड, इधर है अनाईमुडी और इधर है कार्डमम हिल्स. In which of the following states is the Vular Lake located? तो वो है जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। द लार्जेस्ट फ्रेश वाटर लेक इन इंडिया, वुलर लेक इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ द टेक्टोनिक एक्टिविटी। उसके बाद द रिवर नर्मदा हैज इट सोर्स एट, तो वो हो जाएगा अमरकंटक। उसके बाद विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लेक्स इज अ सोल्ट वाटर लेक, तो वो हो जाएगा सांभर। क्या हो जाएगा? सांभर हो जाएगा। ओके एक बार हम फिर से देख लेते हैं क्वेश्चन। हमने बात किया था कि इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेट्स इज द वुलर लेक लोकेटेड। द लार्जेस्ट फ्रेश वाटर लेक इन इंडिया, वुलर लेक इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, इट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ द टेक्टोनिक एक्टिविटी। द रिवर नर्मदा हैज इट सोर्स एट अमरकंटक, द नर्मदा राइजेज इन द अमरकंटक हिल्स इन द मध्य प्रदेश। विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लेक्स इज अ सोल्ट वाटर लेक, तो वो हो जाएगा इनमें से सांभर। द सांभर लेक इन राजस्थान विच इज अ सॉल्ट वाटर लेक, इट इज इट्स वाटर इज यूज्ड फॉर द प्रोड्यूसिंग सॉल्ट। विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज द लॉन्गेस्ट रिवर ऑफ द पेनिनसुलर इंडिया, तो वो हो जाएगा गोदावरी। द गोदावरी rises from the slopes of the western Ghats in the Nasik districts of Maharashtra and it is the largest peninsular river. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है विच वन अमंगस्ट द फॉलोइंग रिवर्स फ्लोज थ्रू अ रिफ्ट वैली, तो वो हो जाएगा तापी। तापी फ्लोज इन अ रिफ्ट वैली पैरेलल टू द नर्मदा बट इट इज मच शॉर्टर इन लेंथ। व्हाट इज मीन्ड बाय अ वाटर डिवाइड? गिव एन एग्जांपल। अ माउंटेन और एन अपलैंड separates two drainage basins in an elevated area. Such an upland is known as a water divide. For example, Ambala is located on the water divide between the Indus and the Ganga river. Which is the largest river basin in India? तो वो है गंगा रिवर बेसिन। वेयर डू द रिवर इंडस एंड गंगा हैव द ओरिजिन? द रिवर इंडस राइजेस इन द तिब्बत नियर द मानसरोवर लेक एंड द गंगा ओरिजिनेट्स एट द गंगोत्री ग्लेशियर। बोथ ऑफ देम हैव द ओरिजिन इन द हिमालयाज। नेम द टू हेड स्ट्रीम्स ऑफ द गंगा। वेयर डू दे मीट टू फॉर्म द गंगा? द टू हेड स्ट्रीम्स ऑफ द गंगा आर द भागीरथी एंड द अलकनंदा एंड दे मीट एट देवप्रयाग इन द उत्तराखंड टू फॉर्म द गंगा। Why does the Brahmaputra in its Tibetan part have less silt despite a longer course? In Tibet, the river Brahmaputra, known as Sangpo, carries a smaller volume of the water and less salt as it is a cold and dry area. In India, the river carries a large volume of water and a considerable amount of silt because it passes through a region of high rainfall. उसके बाद, which two peninsular rivers flows through a trough? तो नर्मदा and Tapi are the two peninsular river that flows through a trough. उसके बाद state some economic benefits of rivers and lakes. तो lakes, तो rivers and lakes are of the great value to the human beings. They help to develop hydel power, provide water for the irrigation, drinking industries, and they help to develop fisheries. Using rivers for the irrigation, navigation, hydropower generation is of special significance. They will enhance natural beauty and help the development of tourism and provide recreation. Below are the names of a few lakes. Name of the India. Below are the given names of the few lakes of India. Group them under two categories: natural and created by the human beings. तो जो natural lakes हैं वो है वुलर, नैनीताल, भीमताल, चिलिका, पुलिकट, सांभर, बारापानी, लोकटल। Lakes created by the human beings हो जाएगा डल, गोविंद सागर, राणा प्रताप सागर, निजाम सागर, नागार्जुन सागर एंड हीराकुंड। उसके बाद हिमालयन रिवर्स और पेनिनसुलर रिवर्स, इनके बीच में क्या डिफरेंस होता है? तो हिमालयन rivers originate from the Himalayas and these are perennial rivers and they receive water from the rain as well as from the melted snow from the lofty mountains. Example हो जाएगा इसका गंगा river. Peninsular river originates in the Deccan Plateau. These are seasonal rivers and these rivers are dependent upon the rainfall and during the dry season even the large rivers have reduced flow of water. Example हो जाएगा इसका the Narmada river. कंपेयर करना है ईस्ट फ्लोइंग एंड वेस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स ऑफ द पेनिनसुलर प्लेटू को। तो ईस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स, मेजर रिवर्स फ्लोइंग ईस्ट वर्ड्स महानदी, गोदावरी, कृष्णा, कावेरी। वेस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स में ओनली टू लॉन्ग रिवर्स फ्लो वेस्ट वर्ड्स, नर्मदा एंड तापी। ईस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स में दीज रिवर्स ओरिजिनेट फ्रॉम द वेस्टर्न घाट्स फ्रॉम ईस्ट वर्ड्स एंड ड्रेन इन द बे ऑफ बंगाल एंड वेस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स में दीज रिवर्स ओरिजिनेट इन द सेंट्रल एशिया, फ्लो वेस्ट वर्ड्स एंड ड्रेन इन द अरेबियन सी। ईस्ट फ्लोइंग रिवर्स में कैरी ग्रेटर अमाउंट ऑफ सेडिमेंट्स, सो फॉर्म डेल्टास एट देयर mouths. West flowing rivers may carry lesser amount of sediments, so form estuaries at their mouths. East flowing rivers greater numbers of tributaries. West flowing rivers may lesser number of tributaries. East flowing rivers may these rivers flow not through the very deep canals and west flowing rivers may these rivers flow in the troughs. Why are rivers important to the country economies? So rivers are important in the many ways for the country's economy. Few of them are discussed below. As we all know that India is a country where agriculture is the major source of livelihood of the majority of its population and for agriculture water is the vital source. It carries silt and sediment which makes the flood plains fertile and along this provide the most productive agricultural lands in the country. These rivers also dilute and transport wastes from the settlements. Rivers have been helpful in the development of industries as many industrial processes rely on the water as a raw material. It also provides a means of transport and inland waterways. Rivers make the country naturally beautiful, which attracts tourists and make kinds of employment is also provided like fishing. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट है यहाँ पे ऑन एन आउटलाइन मैप ऑफ इंडिया मार्क एंड लेबल द फॉलोइंग रिवर्स गंगा सतलुज दामोदर कृष्णा नर्मदा तापी महानदी एंड ब्रह्मपुत्र. ऑन एन आउटलाइन मैप ऑफ इंडिया मार्क एंड लेबल द फॉलोइंग लेक्स चिलिका सांभर वुलर पुलिकट एंड कोलेरू. तो इसको हम जो है कर लेते हैं. यहाँ पे है वुलर लेक, फिर है यहाँ पे रिवर सतलुज, ये है सांभर लेक, ये है रिवर गंगा और ये है क्या बोलते हैं इसको रिवर ब्रह्मपुत्र, ये है रिवर दामोदर, रिवर महानदी, रिवर नर्मदा एंड रिवर तापी और सॉरी रिवर कृष्णा एंड नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दी लेक्स. तो अब हम लेक की बात करें तो ये है सांभर लेक, ये है वुलर लेक, फिर उसके बाद ये है कोलेरू लेक, ये है चिलिका लेक और ये है पुलिकट लेक. ठीक है, तो ये सारे हमने लेक्स भी जो है भर लिए मैप पे. Which one of the following places receives the highest rainfall in the world? तो वो हो जाएगा माउंट सेन राम. कौन सा जगह हो जाएगा? माउंट सेन राम in the southern ranges of the Khasi Hills receives the highest average rainfall in the world. The wind blowing in the northern plains in the summers is known as Lu. उसके बाद a striking feature of the hot weather season is the loom and these are strong gusty hot dry winds blowing during the day over the north and northwestern India. Monsoon arrives in India approximately in early June. उसके बाद the monsoon unlike the trades are not steady winds but are pulsating in nature affected by the different atmospheric conditions encountered by it on its way over the warm tropical seas and the duration of the monsoon is between 100 to 120 days from early June to the mid-September. Which one of the following characteristics the cold weather season in India? Warm days and cold nights. Warm days and cold nights. ठीक है. Some of the characteristics cold weather season winter are coldest months are December and January. Temperature 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Days are warm and nights are cold. The Himalayan slopes experience snowfall and frost is common in the north. What are the controls affecting the climate of India? The elements that control the climate of India: altitude, latitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, ocean currents and relief features. Why does India have a monsoon type climate? India has a monsoon type of climate as its climate is influenced by the monsoon winds and the monsoon type of climate is based on the distinct season and season of reversal of monsoon winds. This happens due to the differential heating of the land and water bodies and pressure situations. When air moves from higher pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean, it crosses the equator and turns right to the low pressure situation over the Indian subcontinent. And these winds blow over the warm oceans, pick up moisture from them, resulting in the rainfall in India. Which part of India does experience the highest duration range of the temperature and why? The northwestern part of the India experiences the highest diurnal range of temperature, and this happens because of the presence of the Thar Desert and also because this region does not have the moderating influence of the ocean. Diurnal range of the temperature is the difference between the maximum and minimum temperature of a day. Diurnal range of temperature is highest in desert regions like Rajasthan, Rajasthan and the Thar Desert and interior parts of the Rann of Kutch. In these sandy areas, the day temperature may rise to 50 degree and drop down to the near freezing point the same night. उसके बाद, which winds account for the rainfall along the Malabar coast? The Arabian Sea branch of the southwest monsoon winds are responsible for bringing rainfall along the Malabar coast in the India. Define monsoons. What do you understand by the break in the monsoon? Monsoon refers to the seasonal reversal in the wind direction. Monsoon break refers to the happening of the wet and dry spells during the rainy season, and the monsoon rains takes place only for the few days at a time. Why is the monsoon considered a unifying bond? Although there are winds, there are wide variations in the weather patterns across the India. The monsoon brings some unifying influences on the India, and the Indian landscapes, its flora and fauna, etc. are highly influenced by the monsoon, and the entire agricultural calendar in India is governed by the monsoon. Most of the festivals in India are related to the agricultural cycle. These festivals may be known by the different names in the different parts of the country, but their celebration is decided by the monsoon. Monsoon winds bind the whole country by providing the water to set the agricultural activities in the motion. The river valleys which carry this water also unite as a single river valley unit. Why does the river rainfall Why does the rainfall decrease from the east to west in the northern India? The Bay of Bengal branch of the monsoon winds moves towards northeast and return westwards, covering the northern plains while they move towards west, their moisture contains tends to reduce with the subsequent rains. Hence, the rainfall decreases from east to west in the northern India. Now, give reasons as to why. Seasonal reversal of the wind direction takes place over the Indian subcontinent. Seasonal reversal of wind directions over the Indian subcontinent takes place due to the pressure differential. El Nino has a major role to play in the seasonal reversal of wind direction over the Indian subcontinent. उसके बाद, the bulk of rainfall in the India is concentrated over the few months. The monsoon begins from the first week of the June and advances quite rapidly to cover the almost whole country by mid-July. Hence, the bulk of rainfall in India is concentrated over the months of a few months, mainly June to August. उसके बाद, the Tamil Nadu coast receives winter rainfall. The Tamil Nadu coast receives winter rainfall because of movement of the low pressure conditions to the Bay of Bengal. उसके बाद next है यहाँ पे the delta region of the eastern coast is frequently struck by the cyclones. The Bay of Bengal is the center of the various pressure changes and hence there is always a chance of development of cyclones. Due to this, the delta region of the eastern coast is frequently struck by the cyclones. उसके बाद next है parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat and the leeward side of the western Ghats are drought prone. तो क्या हो जाएगा? The parts fall in the rain shadow area of the Aravalli, hence they are drought prone and don't receive much of the rainfall. Describe the regional variations in the climatic conditions of India with the help of the suitable examples. There is a regional variations in the climatic conditions of India. Temperature and precipitation vary from place to place and season to season. In summers, the temperature rises up to 50 degrees Celsius in the parts of Rajasthan, whereas it may be around 20 degrees Celsius in the Pahalgam in the Kashmir. In winters, night temperature in Dras in the Kashmir may be minus 45 degrees Celsius, whereas in Thiruvananthapuram in the Kerala may have temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. In Andaman Island, the difference between the day and night temperature may be hardly 7 degree to 8 degrees Celsius. Coastal areas experience less contrasts in the temperature, whereas seasonal contrasts are more in the interior of the country. There is decrease in the rainfall generally from east to west in the northern plains. Most part of the India get rainfall from June to September, whereas the Coromandel coast gets rainfall in the winter season. Give an account of the weather conditions and characteristics of the cold season. Following are the features of the cold season. The winter season begins from mid-November until February in northern India. December and January are the coldest months in the northern part of the India. The temperature ranges between 10 degree to 15 degrees Celsius in the northern plains, while it ranges between 24 degree to 25 degrees Celsius in the Chennai. उसके बाद the northeast trade winds prevail over the country in this region as these winds blow from land to sea. Most parts of the country experience a dry season. The weather is usually marked by the clear sky, low temperature and low humidity and weak variable winds. The inflow of the cyclonic disturbances from the west and the northwest is a characteristic feature of the cold weather over the northern plains. These low pressure system originates over the Mediterranean Sea and the Western Asia and move into India. They cause winter rains over the plains and snowfall in the mountains. The winter rainfall is in the small amount, but it is very important for the rabi crops, and this rainfall is locally known as the Mahavat. The peninsular region does not get a well-defined winter because of the moderating influence of the sea. Now give the characteristics and effects of the monsoon rainfall in India. Characteristics of the monsoon rainfall in India is the duration of the monsoon varies from 100 to 120 days from early June to mid-September. Around the time of its arrival, the normal rainfall increases suddenly and continues regularly for the several days. This is called the burst of the monsoon. They are distinguished from the pre-monsoon showers because of their increase in the rainfall amount and regularity. The monsoon arrives in the southern tip of the Indian peninsula generally by the first week of the June, and the rainfall is unevenly distributed across the country. Effects of the monsoon rainfall in India. Agriculture in India largely depends on the Indian monsoons for the water. Late, low or excessive rains have a negative impact upon the crops. Due to uneven distribution of rainfall across the country, there are few places that are drought prone and few are flood affected. The monsoon provides India with a diverse climatic patterns. Hence, in spite of the presence of great regional variations, it has a unifying influence upon the country and its people. On an outline map of India, show the following areas receiving rainfall over the 400 centimeter. आपको बताना है 400 सेंटीमीटर जो है ये दिखाई गई हैं इससे। ये जो मतलब डंडे डंडे खींच रखे हैं ना, ये जो लाइंस लगा रखी है, ये रेनफॉल ओवर 400 सेंटीमीटर दिखा रहे हैं। उसके बाद एरियाज रिसीविंग लेस देन 20 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ रेनफॉल, तो इसके लिए जो है ये डॉट डॉट जो है ये जो है दिखा रहे हैं कि एरियाज रिसीविंग लेस देन 20 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ रेनफॉल। द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द साउथ वेस्ट मानसून ओवर द इंडिया, डायरेक्शन ऑफ साउथ वेस्ट मानसून ओवर द इंडिया, ये क्या शो कर रहे हैं, तो ये जो है देखो क्या शो हो रहा है यहाँ पे, देखो ये अरेबियन सी बीच की तरफ जो है ये वाले डंडे जो है जा रहे हैं, और जो बे ऑफ बंगाल की तरफ जा रहे हैं तो वो है ये इस तरीके से। जो लेस देन 20 सेंटीमीटर ऑफ रेनफॉल का एरिया है ये है, और ये है। उसके बाद एरियाज रिसीविंग रेनफॉल ओवर 400 सेंटीमीटर, तो इसका कौन सा है, ये है, ये है, ये है, और इधर से ये भी है, ठीक है। टू विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग टाइप्स ऑफ वेजिटेशन डज रबर बिलोंग टू, तो ये हो जाएगा ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन सी। Some of the commercially important trees of tropical evergreen forests are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, and cinchona. Thus, rubber belongs to the tropical evergreen forest. Cinchona trees are found in the areas where rainfall is more than 100 centimeter. Cinchona is one of the commercial importance of Cinchona is one of the commercially important tree found in the evergreen forest having rainfall more than 100 centimeter. In which of the following states is the Simplipal Bioreserve located? तो वो हो जाएगा ओडिशा। 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. Simplipal is one of the such biosphere reserves located in Odisha. Which one of the following bioreserves of India is not included in the world network of bioreserve? तो मानस is not included in the world network of the bioreserve. बाकी जो है नीलगिरी, गल्फ ऑफ मन्नार, नंदा देवी, these are included in the world network of the bioreserve. 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. 4 out of these are the Sundarbans in the West Bengal, Nanda Devi in the Uttarakhand, Gulf of Mannar in the Tamil Nadu, and Nilgiris, Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu have been included in the world network of biosphere reserves. What is a bioreserve? Given in two examples. A bioreserve is a scheme, देखो, a bioreserve is a scheme or program for the protection and conservation of the great biological diversity of our land. It preserves wildland flora and fauna in their natural forms. Its surrounding zones is utilized for research and experimentation in developing forests and other products. Special arrangements are created for the research and training about the reserves. Example है इसमें नीलगिरी Biosphere Reserve set up at the Bai junction of the Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve set up in the Uttarakhand, the first one in the Himalayas. Name 2 animals having habitat in the tropical and mountain type of vegetation. Tropical animals में tiger and elephant. Mountain animals में snow leopard and spotted deer. Flora and fauna में क्या difference होता है? Flora में the plant species of the particular region or period are called as flora. Fauna में the animal species of the particular region or period are called as fauna. यहाँ पे टेस्ट गाइस करना है ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन एंड डेसिडियस फॉरेस्ट्स में। तो ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट्स और एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट्स एंड ट्रॉपिकल डेसिडियस फॉरेस्ट्स में क्या डिफरेंस होता है? ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट्स या फिर एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट्स दीज आर फाउंड वेयर द एवरेज रेनफॉल इज मोर देन 200 सेंटीमीटर and these do not have a distinct season of shedding leaves. Trees appear green all the year round and their height exceeds 60 meter. Ebony, mahogany and rosewoods are some of the important trees. Tropical deciduous forests में these are found where the average rainfall is between 75 centimeter to 200 centimeter and they shed their leaves once a year to minimize the evaporation and the trees are less than 50 meter and teak, sal, sisam and sandalwood are some of the important trees. उसके बाद name different types of vegetations found in India and describe the vegetation of high altitudes. The different types of vegetation found in the India are tropical evergreen forests and tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forests and scrubs, mountain forests and mangrove forests. Vegetation of high altitudes. Alpine vegetation is found at the places over 3600 meter in the height. The trees common to these are the silver, fir, junipers, pines, and birches. The trees get stunted as they reach the snow line, and there are shrubs and scrubs that ultimately merged into alpine grasslands. And tundra vegetation is limited to the lichens and mosses. उसके बाद quite a few species of the plants and animals are endangered in India. Why? Few species of plants and animals are endangered in India because of increase in the population, urbanization and industrialization, large-scale deforestation, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste and acid deposits, hunting for the pleasure and commercial purposes, reckless cutting of the forests to bring land under the cultivation and inhabitation. Why has India a rich heritage of flora and fauna? India has a rich heritage of flora and fauna due to the following reasons. India is a diverse country with different relief features, that is mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. Different types of vegetations are found in these regions, and the vegetation support different types of animals. Availability of different types of soil providing base for the different types of vegetations. Variations in the climatic conditions, temperature, humidity, etc. Climate of India differs from north to south, east to west, thus supporting large varieties of flora and fauna. India has a monsoon type of climate, whereas where rainfall varies from 20 cm to 300 cm, distributed throughout the year, supporting large amount of flora and fauna. Variations in the duration of sunlight at different places due to the difference in the latitude and altitude. अब उसके बाद on an outline map of India, label the following areas of evergreen forest, areas of dry deciduous forest, 2 national parks, each in the northern, southern, east and western parts of the country. So areas of evergreen forests are Western Ghats, Assam, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and foothills of the Himalayas. Area of dry deciduous forests. Dry deciduous forests are in the Odisha, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, UP, Chhattisgarh. And उसके बाद जो 2 national parks each in the northern, southern, eastern and western parts of the country. The national parks which are in the north are Dudhwa and Corbett. In east there are Rajdevra and Simlipal. In the west there are national parks named Gir and Kanheri, and in the south there are Guindi and Nagarhole. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या दिखाया गया है, यहाँ पे दिखाया गया है ये जो वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है उनको रेड कलर से दिखाया गया है. रेड कलर से जो है ये क्या है, वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है. ठीक है, और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट जो है वो बर्ड सेंचुरी दिखाया गया है. तो जो बर्ड सेंचुरी है वो किससे दिखाया गया है, बर्ड सेंचुरी जो है ये स्टार से दिखाया गया है. ये स्टार से जो है ये क्या दिखाया गया है, बर्ड सेंचुरी दिखाया गया है. फिर उसके बाद जो नेशनल पार्क है, नेशनल पार्क जो है वो किससे दिखाया गया है, नेशनल पार्क दिखाया गया है ट्रायंगल से. तो राजा जी और ये कॉर्बेट, दुधवा, इस तरीके से जो है ये बहुत सारे जो है क्या दिखाए गए हैं, नेशनल पार्क्स दिखाए गए हैं. ठीक है, तो ये ट्रायंगल्स जितने भी दिखे रहे हैं यहाँ पे नेशनल पार्क्स हैं. Migration changed the number, distribution and composition of the population in both the area of departure and arrival. Migration is an important determinant of the population change. It changes not only the population size but also the population composition of urban and rural population, both in terms of area of departure and arrival. A large population of children in a population is a result of high birth rates. Birth rate is a major component of growth because in India, birth rates have always been higher than the death rates. High birth rate is responsible for a large proportion of the children in a population. The magnitude of the population growth refers to the total population of an area. Growth of population refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a country, of a territory during a specific period of time, say during the last 10 years. The total population of an area is the magnitude of the population growth. According to the census 2001, a literate person is one who is 7 years old and can read and write any language with understanding. Literacy is a very important quality of a population. According to the census of 2001, a person aged 7 years and above who can read and write with understanding in any language is treated as literate. उसके बाद, why is the rate of population growth in India declining since 1981? Awareness spread by the media and newspaper was also responsible for the decline in the growth rate of population. Spread of education to the girl child was also a reason. Due to its, women also become aware about the drawbacks and expenditure of the large family. Women also start working in a different field of life, and now they realized that giving birth to the more children is also harmful for the health. Now people are literate and they are aware about the family planning programs. Literacy rate was also very high. Early marriage of the girls and boys was banned. Nowadays, of marriage was fixed by the government. Discuss the major components of the population growth. The major components of the population growth are birth rates, death rate, and migration. Birth rate is the number of live births per thousand persons in a year. It is a major component of the growth. Death rate is the number of deaths per thousand persons in a year. Migration is the movement of the people across the regions and the territories. Define age structure, death and rate, and birth rate. The age structure of population refers to the number of people in the different age groups in that population. Death rate is the number of deaths per thousand persons in a year. Birth rate is the number of live births per thousand persons in the year. How is migration a determinant factor of the population change? Migration within the country is called the internal migration, while that between the two countries is called the international migration. Internal migration has no change in the population size, but it changes the population composition of a particular area. International migration can lead to growth or degrowth in the population depending on the degree of the immigration and emigration. Hence, migration is an important determinant factor of the population change. Distinguish between the population growth and population change. Population growth of the population refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a country, territory during a specific period of the time, say during the last 10 years. Population change में population change is about the change in the population composition like age structure, sex ratio, literacy rate, occupational structure, etc. Population growth, it refers to the increase in the number of inhabitants of the region during a specific period of time. Population change, it refers to the change in the distribution, composition or size of the population during a specific period of the time. उसके बाद population growth, natural increase of the population and immigration are the major components causing the population growth. Population change में natural increase, immigration and emigration are the major components causing the population change. What is the relation between the occupational structure and development? Development is related to the occupational structure of the population. Countries are less developed where a higher percentage of population is engaged in the primary occupations like agriculture, animal husbandry, forestry and fishing. As development takes place, more people move into the secondary occupations like manufacturing in the highly developed societies. There are a high percentage of the people involved in the tertiary occupations like banking, commerce, transport and administration. What are the advantages of having a healthy population? The advantages of having a healthy population are a healthy individual is much more efficient and productive than an unhealthy individual. He or she is able to realize his or her potential and play an important role in the social and national development. Absenteeism is low where the workers are healthy. What are the significant features of the National Population Policy 2000? The National Population Policy 2000 provides a policy framework for the imparting free and compulsory school education up to 14 years of age, reducing infant mortality rate to the below 30 per thousand live births, achieving universal immunization of children against the all vaccine preventable disease, promoting delayed marriage and childbearing, making a family welfare a people-centered program, providing nutritional services and food supplements to the adolescents, protecting the adolescents from the unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted disease, and educating them about the risks of the unprotected sex, making contraceptive services accessible and affordable.